everybody, this is Ed from Smoking Chancho's Food Truck. Today we're going to be making a seasoning for our steak taco meat. In front of me you can see a lot of spices here, a lot of herbs we're going to be mixing together. I use these on a lot of my steak meats. There are things here you may not like in yours, so you can take it out and put another one in. This is not the exact recipe for my food truck, but it's pretty close. So it's going to give you the flavor, it's going to give you that color that you need on your steak meats. It's got a great taste, and a lot of these spices come from different parts of the world. Like I said, we're gonna go into different spices and what they do for the meats and where they come from, and a little history on a couple of them. They're pretty interesting. All right, everybody, we're gonna start our seasoning mix with a regular, everyday use ground pepper, black pepper, 2 tablespoons. Next will be our regular ground cumin. Nothing special about these spices. It's everyday cumin you can find in any store. 2 tablespoons. Salt, 2 to 3 tablespoons. And at the end of your recipe, when you mix all this up, or you mix yours up, you could put more in it or take some out. It depends. You have to play with some of these spices. So there may be spices in here you don't like that I like. Again, these are going to be your seasonings, so you'll have to taste test everything you do. This is how I came up with a lot of this. So here we go. Onion powder, 2 tablespoons. Cilantro, you can find that at most any stores, nothing special about that. We're gonna go with a tablespoon and a half of that on my recipe. Next, we're gonna go with the garlic powder. 2 tablespoons, maybe 3 if you feel like you like more garlic in there. Garlic's awesome for any recipe. And this is our ancho powder. You can find this almost anywhere in the stores. If not, you can find a lot of these Spanish powders on Amazon. If you go on Google and just Google this stuff, you'll find them in different sizes. I use a lot of this, so I go through a lot of this stuff. So I go through Amazon a lot of this stuff. Ancho powder, again, a lot of Mexican dishes, Spanish dishes, kind of like a cuminy taste, a little bit darker, a little bit more richer than the cumin. Our next one is going to be our gallero powder. It's one of my favorite powders here, not just the color, but I use this on a recipe we're going to be talking about later down the line on our tacos. It's a birria taco stew that we will make, and then the meats will be in the stew. We'll use those meats for some tacos, and then we'll go through the whole recipe with that. But this powder here, this pepper here, is awesome. So one of my favorites. Next is turmeric. We use this. Doesn't have very much of a taste, but it's got the good color to it, and it helps with my recipe here. I use it on a lot of stuff. Chipotle powder. This is smoked. This is actually got red jalapenos in it, so it's got a little bit of a spice. This is what I use. I don't use cayenne for a lot of stuff, just because cayenne there's too much of the spice in it. I can control it more, and it's got a really good taste here with the chipotle peppers in there too. The last one I'm going to talk about is my echote powder. I go through a lot of this right here. You can order this in 1 pound bags, 2 pound bags. This here has got a really good taste, a really good color. History behind this before it was even used on any food seasoning. The Indians, Mexico, South Americans, Brazilians, way back in times used this as a paint color because the pigment on it is so red. So a lot of the Spaniards that came over here, a lot of those Europeans came over and took it back to their countries because of that. This is also used for, they used to use this as a sunscreen. Used to use it as an insect repellent. So it's not going to hurt you. It's just what they used it before they found out how good it was on the food. So this is what we're using it for now. I go through a lot of this. And this right here is going to be the one that we use a lot of because of the color. My food truck's a little bit different than some of the food trucks you go to, or a lot of the food trucks you go to. You order a taco, you're going to get steak meat in there or pork meat in there with no coloring. You're just going to have the coloring of the meat with salt. I like the coloring. I like the flavors. So when you get tacos from Smoking Chancho, you'll see that our meats are not only seasoned perfect, but they're actually, the color of my meats are just amazing. I'm going to go over again. 2 tablespoons each, or more to your taste. The echote powder, 4 to 5 or more tablespoons. The rest of these here, we're going to use 1 tablespoon to 1.5. Okay, we're gonna start mixing these now. And you're gonna see the vibrant colors that this seasoning has. And down the line, when we start cooking our meats, we're gonna put these seasonings, your seasonings that you made, into your meats, and you're gonna see the vibrant colors in that meat. So no more of the plain Jane steak meats that you would get at the butcher. We're gonna start seasoning these steaks and the steak meat with color and the flavor that it needs and it deserves. So abracadabra, here we go. We're gonna start mixing all of our spices. First, 2 tablespoons brown pepper. Next, 2 tablespoons ground cumin. Next, 2 to 3 tablespoons salt. Next, 2 tablespoons onion powder. Next, 2 tablespoons cilantro. Next, 2 tablespoons garlic powder. Remember, powder. We'll leave that for last. Next, our ancho powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Next, our gallo powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Each of those. Next, tablespoon and a half of turmeric. There it is. Make sure it gets in there. And last, our smoked chipotle powder. Tablespoon and a half. And last but not least, my favorite, the achote powder. This is the main base to your whole seasoning. 4 to 5 to maybe more if you want it, powder. There it is. So now, I'm gonna get a spoon here. We are gonna mix these all up. Grab the handle here. Look how dark that is. But you can see all those herbs and spices mixing together. Everybody say you can get more of the achote powder. We'll do that. There you go. Probably another 2 tablespoons of that. And watch how that brings that redness out, that powder. Look at that. You can see the cilantro in there. You can see all the spices mixed in there. Turmeric kind of disappeared, but it gave us a little bit of that red, yellowish color added to it. Look at that. And there we go. Look at that. Put that on your meats. I'm gonna taste a little bit of it. Perfect. That's perfect. You can taste all the flavors in there. So this right here is gonna go into my meats. Gives it that flavor, the color. So we are complete, we are done. We have made our first seasonings for steak, tacos. Until next time, this is it for today. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Have fun cooking. Have fun making spices, and have fun and love what you're making and eating at your guys' tables. This is Chef Ed from Smoking Chancho's Food Truck. Enjoy. Yeah!